Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fearfully and Wonderfully Me. I am so excited about today's episode. We're continuing this series on the elements of growth and transformation from my book, Fearfully and Wonderfully Me. And today's episode is all about self love, and I am becoming better. And I think one of the reasons I get excited about this episode and this chapter, even in the book, from the book, um, is because when we strive to transform ourselves, to grow ourselves and develop ourselves, we're not going to get it right all the time. We are going to have setbacks. We're going to have choices that we don't choose the best option. And that's okay, because just like the affirmation for this chapter is, I am becoming better. Great lives are made up of great years, and great years are made up of great days, and great days are made up of great hours are made up of great minutes, and great minutes start with great moments. But every moment isn't gonna be great. But it's always a defining moment, because every moment has possibility to take us closer towards our goals or further away from them. And it's the choices that we make that determine if that moment is going to be great or not, right? I remember the example, James Clear used it in his book, Atomic Habits. And I enjoyed the book, and Atomic Habits in the sense of atomic is something really, really tiny, right? Like atomic is like so submicroscopic, you can't hardly see it, atomic particles. And habits, right, are those things, those behaviors that we simply just put on autopilot. But he talks about the value of changing just the small habits, right? Start small. And I love that, because that's the key to transforming, is we don't have to transform all in a day. We just have to work on the tiny changes that help us improve. And so that's why we come down to great moments, because it's just these tiny atomic little choices sometimes that compound over time, or they build up over time. For example, you've probably heard, you need approximately 3,500 calories equals a pound, right? So loosely, if you want to lose some weight, then you either got to move more and exercise more or eat less. But loosely, approximately 3,500 calories equals a pound. So if you wanted to lose 1 pound in a week, theoretically, you need to either cut 500 calories a day or exercise 500 calories worth. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, because a lot of times it's the quality of the calories that really help us with that. But just loosely, if we wanted to lose 1 pound in 1 week, it would be 500 calories a day, right? But if we didn't do that, if instead we made the poor choices that added 500 calories a day, then we would find that we gain a pound a week, loosely. There again, just a loose formula there. So, but if we did that every single day for a whole year, it would be like 50 pounds a year, right? Something like that. So you see how just one day is not a big deal if you have an extra treat or, an extra few hundred calories. But if you did that every day, it's so easy for that to build up and build up and build up, and it adds up over time. 1 + 1 + 1, it compounds. So it works for us and it works against us, but it works. As when we apply the principle, whether we're working with it or against it, it works. So it's okay. The point here is that we're becoming better, and you are gonna have days where you don't get it right. I have days where I don't get it right. Mac and I had a trip recently, and this was one of those choices that it wasn't the best choice, but boy, they claimed to have the best key lime pie. We were getting takeout from a restaurant, and they claimed to have the best key lime pie. And man, that just sounded so good. I'd gone for a long run, and then we had a good long walk, and and it's vacation, so you do kind of indulge, or I kind of indulge a little bit more on vacation. And so I ordered a slice of the key lime pie, and boy, let me tell you, it was fabulous. Now, that's an example of a choice that, it was probably more grams of sugar than I needed that day. So that's an example of a choice where I didn't make the best choice for my health, but I'm okay with that, because it's not about perfection. It's just about becoming better. I don't have to get every choice right. You don't have to get every choice right. You just got to get the majority of the choices working for you. And a lot of times what happens is we focus on being perfect instead of becoming better. And perfecting your life isn't possible. Improving your life is always possible. But that's where we derail ourselves a lot of times. We shoot for perfection, and when we miss, we throw everything out the window. And so what happens? We feel like we've let ourselves down, and so we're just less likely to even try in the future. So, it's not about perfection. It's about improving. Improving is always possible. So don't allow yourself to create a mindset that you are a failure just because you didn't get it right all the time. We're not going to get it right all the time. The affirmation is, I am becoming better. And read that with, or listen to that with the proper emphasis as, I am becoming better. And if you're serious about growing yourself and transforming yourself, and you're honest about who you want to become, you've got to be honest about what you're willing to trade for it. For example, if you want to be a fitness competitor, right? There's going to be an enormous amount of time and sacrifice that goes into making that a reality. It's going to be, complete obsession with your diet and times in the gym, and that's okay. If that's what's important to you, be honest with what you're willing to give up in order to achieve it. If you want to write a book, be honest with yourself about, the sacrifice. It's going to take hours and hours. It's going to take getting up early or staying up late, or, working on this book every day, writing a page. Be serious about that. Be honest about that, because becoming the best version of yourself is going to take some sacrifice. So what are you willing to give up in order to become a better version of you? Or a better way to ask that is, what are you holding on to right now that you are willing to let go of? Now, I've let go of a lot of things over the years in my personal growth journey, and I have no doubt you absolutely have too. If you pause and think about it, I'm asking you to just intentionally think about what's not helping you become a better version of yourself. And this could be small things. It could be bigger things. One of my health choices this year that I made that I'm satisfied with is croutons on my salad. And I know that's probably like, Ria, that sounds so insignificant. Like, why does that matter? But no, seriously, I thought about what's one tiny way that I can become better. And I thought about, how many croutons do I put on my salad? I eat salad. Like, I eat a big salad, at least one every day, pretty much every day. It's a great way to get some raw nutrition in, and I love salads. So I make these big, huge salads. But what was happening is I'd make this great, nutritious salad, and then I'd top it with croutons, which are basically bread soaked in oil and baked. And there's not any nutritional value. The croutons are yummy, don't get me wrong. They're crunchy, they taste good. But there's not a lot of nutritional value in it. And so the past couple months, I thought, well, what's one thing I could do to become better in this area of my life? I could put nuts or seeds in my salad instead of croutons. And that still gives me some crunch, still gives me some flavor, but it's better nutrition, right? There's actually some nutritional value in a walnut versus a crouton. So that's a little example of becoming better. But here's the thing. The pandemic hit, as we all know, in March. And so suddenly, I was down to grocery shopping, just leaving the house for bare essentials. And so it was like, I would only go grocery shopping every 10 days or 2 weeks, and trying to limit the opportunities that for exposure or germs or anything like that. And so pretty soon I realized that I was only going to one grocery store, and I couldn't get the nuts and seeds that I normally had been getting after I gave up croutons. And so then when I couldn't get my nutritious option, I went back to getting some croutons, because croutons I could buy at the one grocery store that I was going to every week or 10 days or 2 weeks. So that's an example of how it was a little choice and I got better, and then I didn't get better. There was a good month or 6 weeks where, I even made some croutons at home because, it's tough when you're buying groceries and there's only a limited amount of refrigerator space if you're trying to buy enough groceries and fresh groceries to last you 2 weeks. And so there were some times when I ran out of some things, or the stores didn't have some things. That happened too. Probably some of you experienced that. And so, even I was making my own croutons there for a little while, but that's okay. I recognized that, number one, I got better when I gave up the croutons. I slipped back when I started going back to croutons. And recognizing that, when I started getting back to regular grocery shopping, I said, you know what? Okay, time to become better. Let me go back to my nuts and seeds instead of the croutons on my salad. Transformation isn't about perfection. I would just want you to focus on the little things that can help you get better. Because here's the thing, it sounds glamorous to focus on something big, but it's not really possible, right? Transformation comes in the small changes over time. And when we talk about making sacrifices, we always feel the pain before we get the gain. If you want to get a college degree, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time attending classes and studying and writing essays and taking tests. You're going to miss out on fun things in life, and you won't like it. You're going to feel the loss of your free time much quicker than you're going to experience the reward of having gotten that degree. But if you have the mindset of, I'm letting go of some fun things in the short term in order to increase my income in the long term, then it's much easier to do it. So it's shifting your mindset from, I'm missing out on this, to I'm letting go of this so I can reach something better. In my crouton example, it was like, I'm letting go of croutons so I can reach toward better health in just a little way. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be earth-shaking. And here's the thing, you might not choose to let go of everything that's holding you back. I love cheese, and I recognize cheese is not the best thing for me, but boy, I love some cheese. And I have not chosen to let go of that. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Your power is in recognizing and beginning to let go of some of the things that are not serving you well and doing it just a little more often. This year it was croutons. Last year it was Diet Coke. It's just, for me, recognizing the little ways that I could get better. And this doesn't just apply to our physical health. I tend to talk about physical health a lot because it's an area of our lives that most of us can relate to easy. But this also works in the mental dimension. For example, reading a book. Maybe you don't like to read books, but sacrificing watching a fun movie to read a book that you might learn something from and grow is an example of getting better. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to give up all the fun movies or the Netflix, but maybe you spend 15 minutes less a day watching TV and invest that 15 minutes in your growth by memorizing a quote or reading a book or learning something new. If you want to build a business, if you want to write a book, whatever it is that you want to do, right? Just think of ways that you can become better. And I think that's why I get so excited about this concept, is because when we think about how small changes over time add up, it is so easy to get excited about that, because I can do small changes. Maybe it means not giving up croutons for the rest of my life, but maybe just today I'll try nuts instead of croutons, right? And if I don't like it, I reserve the right to go back to my croutons. Or if I can't find my nuts and seeds at the store, I'll go back to my croutons. So you see, that's why it's so easy to get fired up about this, because it doesn't mean perfection. It just means possible. It just means improving. Becoming better is about becoming better every day in some way. And it's leveraging the power of those choices in the moment to create great minutes and great hours and great days and great years and a great life. Until next time.
Start increasing your influence and maximizing your potential with Ria's audiobooks. Available at audible.com, amazon.com, and iBooks. Please visit riastory.com to learn about Ria's books, resources, speaking, and training programs. Thanks for listening.